Welcome back for number 4. This one I promise to have a little bit of a shoulder emphasis on. So, looking at different ways to move, cardio is one of the areas that you want to get some in every day. If your shoulder's painful, a great cardio activity is walking, like we've already talked about. That way you can kind of warm up this area, not directly stressing the muscles, but from further away so that you can use the lower body to get it moving. What I'll say is if you notice that you're really wanting to hold, maybe put the hand in a pocket or something, can you allow it to hang down so the arms can swing a little bit? Opposite arm and leg coming forward. And I'm doing this in place just for the sake of space. But yeah, letting it go. And then if it needs a little bit of a break, you can. But then realizing that, because it changes everything. And then coming back when you're able to, letting it hang down. So again, it's kind of incorporating the shoulders because it's these actions move through the spine from the legs that are hitting the ground one at a time and moving through the body. So if you're not moving the shoulder, it is making your body absorb forces slightly differently. So as much as possible, you want to include it. You're always welcome to do cardio after the things that we do here if they help to release some of the muscles or tension if you find there's holding. So I want to look at one way to kind of relax these muscles. If anything doesn't feel right, stop, find out more information about it, and look into it. But one way to get some movement instead of fighting against gravity to lift it up is using the core to support the low back, bending the knees. I'm stabilizing with my glutes and then letting this hang forward. And so what I'm doing as it's hanging forward, I'm not going to use the muscles of the arms because what I want is these muscles to relax. So what I'm going to do is give a little bounce to my knees. And again, I'm stabilizing so I don't feel this in my back. I only feel it in the legs. And then rocking side to side. So if I weren't bent forward, if I were standing straight up, my arm would actually be lifted here. So it's a good way to get some mobility in that arm without actually using the muscles, which I was when I was standing up and holding it out. So letting it go. So again, if my body stops moving, the momentum of the movement might let this rock around a little bit, but it's not because I'm moving the muscles. It's just kind of slowing down until it gradually comes to a stop. So you can do that to let that relax and release if it were a left shoulder problem. And then one way to kind of actively move it once it gets warmed up, once you get some mobility, I'm going to move this out of the way, is to come down onto your back. And as you're here, one at a time, you can stabilize so that it's the shoulder moving going up. And I like one at a time. So if there's something different going on between the right and the left side, you can say, oh, maybe I don't want to go beyond that and bring it back down. So you can do two different things. Whereas if you were doing them at the same time, you might not notice that. And then maybe the next time you come over here, notice how I'm leading with the thumb. Comes back maybe a little bit further. And this can be challenging because the shoulder blade is kind of against the ground here. Good, breathing here as you're moving back and forth. Seeing how those arms move. And then once you get to this point, gravity kind of helps to take it over. And I'm also stabilizing here in the abdominals as I'm breathing, letting these arms come up and over, and finding how they're moving similarly, differently. Sometimes there's little cracks and pops in the body. As long as they're not painful, as long as they aren't creating a grave discomfort, it's usually things that kind of adjust. And then coming forward. And of course, you can always stop before then. Take a couple less if your body's saying that it's had enough. But those are ways to warm up the shoulders. And from there, again, you might want to do those before you go out for a walk. And besides walking by yourself, I like the idea of walking with some other people. So if you have family members or younger kids, this is a great way to model activity. But then also, if you don't have family that's immediately around, you can always work with coworkers, friends to kind of go out and do things and stay active. So yeah, thank you for your time. Here's a little bit to warm up the shoulders and get you moving. Bye.